Hello, welcome to Juanito Learns. We're going to be talking about how to use Radzen. Radzen. It's a low-code tool, very similar to Light Switch. Well, at least that's why one of the features, one of the main selling points that they have is that it's basically a very similar tool as Light Switch. Light Switch, again, that was a very nice local tool in the .NET world to create very rapidly applications with .NET. So what I'm gonna do, again, like we have been doing before on the videos here in Juanito Learns, we're gonna assume no knowledge of Radzen. We're just gonna follow the tutorial, the official tutorial, and during the official tutorial, we're gonna be learning the basics of it. So I did install Radzen already and register Radzen. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the website to go to the documentation and then to the tutorial. And here we see introduction to the introduction part. And we're gonna pick Blazor because that's the flavor that we're gonna be using. And it's gonna be a CRM. Give you some screenshots of what's gonna look like. We do have the requirements. We have a Radzen installation. We do have a SQL Express instance installed. We do have SQL Management Studio. And we do have the previous knowledge of C# and Entity Framework again, but nothing specific to Radzen. So we're gonna start like that, and tells you the features that they're gonna be showcased through the tutorial. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to databases, which is the first step. Tutorial. We're gonna create the database. So we gotta create this database. Then we have a database that we're gonna start off. We have a script here, so we're gonna open that script here, and it even has the create database command. So we just copy that. I'm gonna click on raw on here to get the raw. I'm gonna copy that. Go to SQL Management Studio, and in here I'm gonna go and right-click on new query. Paste that in and execute that. And all commands successful. And if I do a refresh on databases, I can see Radzen there with the tables, right? So let's look here, Radzen application. I'm gonna start Radzen and create a new application. And to do that, we're gonna, where I had that open here. So I got my screen here. And we're gonna set the framework to Blazor. And the name to Radzen CRM. So I'm gonna copy that. Then we're going to select dark as a theme. And then we're gonna click on create. Well, the directory very important. I'm gonna get a directory over here. Let's see here. Oops. Bring this back in. My directory. I'm gonna get directory there, and then I'll click on create. I'm just gonna be waiting for the person to be created, and then I'm gonna click on new data source, and let me like that. So I'm gonna close the tips right now. We're gonna click on file, new data source. like that, CRM. The server is going to be SQL Express. That's the name of our SQL server. Database, it's obviously the one we just created. Radzen CRM. Gonna do Windows authentication. And they're telling us in the infer schema, let me check. Oh, yep. They want us to check all 4 checkboxes, so we're gonna do that. So, well, there you go. So inference schema. And they're telling us to click on generate pages for CRUD operations. And I believe we just have to leave everything as there is. Entities as tables. Click on finish. All right. So we're done with that. My data source, and we have the screens on the left, aka pages. Let's see. I need to run it. Just click on run. Let's see what happens. Pause the video here while I'm sorry, I was on mute. We added the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 statuses that the tutorial told us to do, and we have this running, this application running, so we're able to do that. The next step is to test that. So we're just gonna simplify here with no start and complete to save time. And test types, we're gonna do just email and call. Oops, email and call. And you can see at the background, it looks like over here it's doing some SQL querying in the background. obviously, because it's using the framework and connected to our SQL Server database. But it's nice to see that debug info over there. Enable security. So we're gonna enable security for logging in. Let's stop the application. Oh, by the way, if we want to check those, you go to task types. There they are. So obviously it did save it to the database. Go to the back to Radzen, stop, click the security button on the top right corner, right here. Provider. Okay, the providers are Active Directory, default Active Directory, Windows. Not interesting, that's more interesting. I'm just gonna do default from the tutorial, but maybe in another video we can explore these ones. Obviously not on an enterprise situation, you're most likely going to use Azure AD if you have an Azure AD tenant, or Active Directory if you have a domain controller on premise. But we're gonna do default. Okay, and then the provider is going to be default. The source is going to be so we had the default, and for the source we're gonna do CRM. And auto generates yes to that. Let's see. I'm gonna compare the screenshot. Oh, that's a very small screenshot. Yep, that's the only one. Main and login. Main and login. Okay. Let's click on save. And it tells us to run it. So we click on run. We click on run to run it. And we're gonna try to log in with that. Then let's see, admin, login. Sure, never. Right, so that let us log in. Now we're gonna be looking at the next session, which is create a foreign key. So between opportunities table and the ASP.NET users table. And that's to associate, whoever a user to the opportunity. And typically we will have done, if you are in an enterprise project, we'll be defining the database schema in a Visual Studio database project or any other type of database project, for example, a Flyway set of scripts. Well, right now we're gonna use this. So for this tutorial, we're just gonna use SQL Management Studio. So we're gonna copy the script to add the foreign key. So we're altering the table and the foreign key on user ID against the ID in ASP.NET users. I'll run that. So that's successful. Oh, interesting. Now we're gonna open it in Visual Studio. Let's see. Radzen. I went to my folder, Radzen. I'm gonna open it in Visual Studio. I probably can do an open Visual Studio code as well, but I'm gonna open Visual Studio Visual Studio is starting. And we're gonna go to, oops, we're gonna go to this guy right here. Oh, and Visual Studio is warning me about that. Interesting. Huh. Well, you know what? They let's tell you that you can use Visual Studio Code, so we're gonna do that as well. And the warning is here. I need the SP and the web development tools. Yeah, I'm gonna install that. Let me install that really quickly. So what we're doing is that we follow the instructions in here to add this file, opportunity custom CS. We open Visual Studio Code and then we added that file there. So that's the file. That's the file I want us to add. It's a partial class that's basically extending this right here. This is an auto-generate file from Radzen. So we're just notice that there's no user, just a user ID. Okay, so let's see. This extends the opportunity model, new property user. So I wonder if this had not been able to be generated if we had rerun the generation, the inference from that database. That's interesting. Maybe in another video we can try rerunning the inference to see if we auto-add this, given that there was a foreign key added. Okay, so now customize security. So under customer security, the Radzen applications come with a built-in security feature. Okay, this right here, we might do this one on the next video. For now, we're going to check some more of the Radzen. Let me stop the server and rerun it since we added that. Given that we added that class, I want to see if that makes something different inside the class, inside the application. So we'll click on run. In a while, but it should be popping out soon. Right, let's see. We had the class we had expanded was the opportunity. So let's go to opportunities. Let's add one. Let's see, amount 23. Name my opportunity. User ID. Notice this is user ID. It's not. Does it seem to be? There does seem to be some sort of lookup here. Let's do admin here. See what happens. Now in the contact though, there seems to be a lookup here. But we have any contact, so there's nothing there. So here, the date. It's a very nice date picker. I'm gonna click on save up. Yeah, contact ID is required. So we're gonna click on cancel because we're gonna go to contact. I'm gonna add somebody here. This.com. Acme. Now we can click on opportunities. Amount 23. And now our contact is there. Active. Oh, unable to create opportunity. Well, let's do one. Say user ID. That's interesting because the user ID. Interesting. What's the user ID's type? The user ID is a string. Okay. So if we manually put the user ID of the admin, I just finished here. So let's see. ASP.NET users. We have anybody here? Interesting. Maybe in here. No, we have either. So that's interesting because we're supposed to get ASP.NET users, but we have anybody in ASP.NET users. Okay, so that admin user might have been some sort of super admin, hard-coded admin. All right. So we cannot add those until we add a user. And I guess that was the next tutorial, second tutorial. Let's see. Yep. We're gonna be updating the users from here. We're gonna do this in the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good time, and I'll see you next video.